Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining me for another Wellbeing Messengers Thrive Vibe, where we talk about how to calm the chaos, reclaim your time, and transform the way you experience your world for the better. So, I have to ask, this is a big question, okay? Do you know what you want in life? I ask because so many people I meet never ask themselves questions, much less one as deep as this one. And others know what they want, but feel they need permission to create a life where they experience bliss much more and bitterness much less, and a life in which they feel appreciated and never insignificant, valued and never unworthy of good fortune, where they feel really heard and never ignored. And of course, respected and never neglected. And of course, most of our neglect comes at our own hands. And of course, we want to feel empowered and never powerless. And you overcome fear with love. And if this is you, I want you to know that you don't need anyone's permission, but if you want it, please allow me to give it to you. I'm Carmen Perez, the Wellbeing Messenger and creator of the lifestyle blog wellbeingmessenger.com for high achieving women who want to live more mindfully and achieve more personal radical success without sacrificing their health, wealth, and happiness. Most of us have no plan for our daily lives other than just to show up and do our time, wasting it, killing it, doing anything we can do with our time other than investing it to bring more joy and ease into our lives. This is my battle cry because our ability to thrive is being threatened for the sake of progress, and it's not okay. We see it in the fact that only 7% of the population feels they have achieved well-being in their life. We must live with focus on what matters most. We must ignore the distractions that keep us from realizing our dreams and our highest potential. We have to find a way to develop the kind of purpose that propels us out of bed each day, because it's the only way to stay connected to what brings you the most peace and joy and love. And of course, those are all the things we want to experience each day. If we don't create a vision for a life we love, we could spend or invest an entire lifetime doing what is expected and never feel really good about where we are, right? Not receiving those riches that we'd expect after living a life of doing everything right, even when it felt all wrong. About 10 years ago, the reality that I was not happy in my life was a scary one. At that point, I was married for just over 20 years and had 3 beautiful children and became a grandmother for the first time. But when the lights were off and I was all alone and my head hit the pillow, my thoughts made me question how I lived. You know, when I was 15, I got pregnant. And from that time and until I was about 35, I did all the things that in my head I built up that I needed to do to make up for my big mistake. I became obsessed with perfection and achieving more. I had this idea of what life should look like. I married her father and we moved in together. I worked full time and went to school at night. I focused on achievement because of the pressure that I built up to do good. I got an education so I could get further ahead, and I worked long and hard to make it happen. I didn't want the things that my family and friends said about me to come true. Many of them had stopped speaking to me, and others just moved on without me. It hurt. It hurt so much. The pain seeped into my heart and showed up as fear, which led me to live a life in a constant state of protection. I didn't let people in, and I moved away from anyone who didn't say what they mean or mean what they said. It raised big red flags for me. Distrust and get far away from them because they could hurt you. And I did that all to stop the pain. But guess what? It didn't work. Even when I tried to tell the people that I did trust how empty I felt, they couldn't hear me because everything looked perfect on the outside. But it wasn't. I lived in my perceived obligations and responsibility, and that left no space to discover what I really wanted for myself. Then came this extraordinary experience of believing that I was going to die during a 4-year battle with now what is known as Lyme disease. That's how long it took me to get diagnosed. So I wasn't treated until well after. And of course, during the illness, I was confined to my bed. I'd stopped working and stopped driving. But since that time, I've been on a mission to create a life that felt completely worth living, because before that, I had a life that didn't feel that way. Initially, I couldn't do that because I didn't know what I wanted. So I went on a 2-year journey to get more clarity. And it wasn't until I got clear about what I wanted and how I wanted to live and what a life worth living actually meant to me was I able to start making powerful decisions that helped me live in a way that felt more rewarding on the inside and in alignment with what I wanted for myself. And I learned that when things don't feel right, they probably aren't. And that should lead us to a little introspection, okay? So there's 3 steps to help you find out what you really want, okay? And I'm going to share them with you. The first step is to focus on an area of life. And I'm going to share with you the areas of our life that we need to achieve a feeling of well-being in order to live an extraordinary life. And these are not based on opinion. It's actual research that I've done on well-being for the last 10 years. So the first one is spiritual awareness, and this is about how you celebrate and contribute in your life, right? How do you celebrate all of your accomplishments, and what are you contributing by your accomplishments? Then the next one is your physical body, and this is all about how you care for your physical needs, okay, your health. Then we have your time and energy, which is really about how you invest your time and focus your energy, okay, each day. And then the next one is your work and career or mission. Now, this is all about your purpose, okay? So it's how you make a difference by what you do with your time. And then there is the quality of your relationships, which is how you actually magnify your life experience. And we have emotions and meaning, which is about giving depth to your life experience, okay? So these things are important so you feel really connected and that there is something meaningful and fulfilling happening here. And then last but not least are your finances, which is the realized value of what you produce. Now, please note that these are not in any particular order. They each provide an essential element to total well-being so you can experience more of what you want and less of what you don't. And if I may recommend, please focus on no more than a couple at a time. Making changes for the better in your life take commitment, and forming new habits take time. If I can go back to where I was about 10 years ago in bed reflecting on where I was, I did try to take all of these things on at one time, and it was overwhelming because I was so out of alignment with what I wanted. Like, everything was a mess. I wasn't sleeping well. I wasn't contributing. Because I lost connection with everyone, I really didn't have much of a social life. I was pretty much confined in my bed and no work, right? That's where you meet a lot of people. I couldn't drive to get around. So that's not a good thing. And so when I took on all these things, it led to a lot of overwhelm and fear, which I don't want anyone to ever give into. So again, that's why I caution you. Do these one at a time, okay? Don't focus on everything at the same time because it's just not a good plan for success. And sometimes I feel like it took me longer than it needed to because I focused on everything at one time. So to take focused action on one issue, so when I work with clients, I always tell them to take focused action on 1 or 2 issues at a time, and the benefits that you receive will help you improve your well-being exponentially, and you'll see changes in the other areas, okay? So again, just by refining, doing a little more, we found out some shortcuts there. So the second step is to get educated. Now, before you decide what to do or change, do some searching. You want to do some soul searching and some researching to find out what opportunities and possibilities exist for you. And of course, for me, this showed up as researching Lyme disease and how it affects people and how other people had healed themselves, okay, once I knew what I had. So do your best to connect to something that feels like it's going to fulfill you and it's going to help you move forward no matter where you are in your life. It's going to bring more meaning to your days, okay? Okay, so step 2 is get educated. And before you decide what to do or change, you want to do some searching, soul searching and researching to find out what possibilities and opportunities actually exist for you. So if you see in one of the areas of your life where you're not feeling fulfilled, and let's say it's your purpose each day, right? Your work, your career, your mission, right? You want to do your best to connect with something that feels like it will fulfill you and bring more meaning to your days. So if you wanted to change your career, but you didn't know what you really wanted to do, you just feel you need to change what you do most of your waking hours, that's okay. But before you start to make any changes, okay, But before you make any changes, you quickly realize there's so many things you could do. So before you make any changes and try to figure out what do you do next, you do some searching and you quickly realize there are so many things that you could do and that interest you, but you're not sure you could earn a living wage. You also don't know how much time you can devote to learning what you need to learn to prepare for your big move. All you do know is that you must do something because doing nothing just isn't working. Something has got to change. When times like this strike you, you have to learn about what type of careers or opportunities you could open up for yourself. Luckily, there is a plethora of information available to you. That's why we need to do our searching. Soul searching and researching. And in soul searching, we need to ask, what do I really want in life? And don't buy into the fact that you shouldn't do anything that you love because you'll end up hating it. I don't believe that's the case, and it's a shame more people don't follow their passions in life. Creating an opportunity to do something that you love is an absolute blessing. And I know because I feel blessed to do my work, and my passion is what has driven me in a way that I never thought possible, especially in those tough times. When thinking about what you want to do next, find something that you can see yourself committed to doing for the next 5 years at a minimum. Once we consider what we could do, it's time to do some researching. And this really can be as easy as Googling it. When you find your passions and things that move you, learn what opportunities are available for you. Imagine what you create in your life when you focus on creating opportunities to experience more of what you want and less of what you don't. That's a powerful sense of control over your destiny, isn't it? And it really is hard to create a vision if you never seek one. So I want to encourage you to do that. And then step 3 is choose. Choose your transformation. Armed with your curiosity and information, decide on a change that you deeply desire and go for it. Your level of desire is directly related to your feeling of success and abundance. When you seek clarity before you make change, you will find your inspiration to work towards what you want no matter the challenges, because you really know it is exactly what you want for yourself. And it's important to connect to that deep, powerful hunger and desire to experiencing something more fulfilling and meaningful no matter where you are right now. I've never met anyone who is happy enough or satisfied enough. I've met a lot of people who say this is good enough, right? But my experience has been that once you feel more happiness, you realize how much easier it is to generate more joy in your life because you create it. The power is yours. It doesn't come from an external source. So I'd love to hear how you discover what you really want in life. If you're looking for a plan to find out what you want in life, I invite you to claim my essential guide to creating priorities for fulfillment and meaning by visiting wellbeingmessengergift.com. It lays out the process I use to help my clients get clear about what they want so they can invest their energy and time in achieving the personal radical success they dream of. I hope the information, inspiration, and insights I share with you help you create a life worth living for yourself, whatever that means. Also, before I sign off, I'd like to ask you for a huge favor. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who you think will enjoy our Thrive Vibe. Your presence and share mean more than you know to me and our mission to increase the sense of well-being in this world. So this is Carmen Perez, the Wellbeing Messenger, signing off. Until next time, live with passion, purpose, and play.